Your cousin's boyfriend having a real estate license does not make them equipped to handle a multi-million-dollar real estate transaction. We should talk.
Welcome to the Empowerment Zone, brought to you by South Dade NAACP, where we share trustworthy information, uplift local voices, and connect you to the resources and pathways that support thriving, one conversation, one connection, and one action at a time. It is where South Miami-Dade listens, learns, and leads.
Welcome to the Empowerment Zone, brought to you by the South Dade Branch of the NAACP. And the guests for today's show are Ms. Vashanta Harris, the NAACP South Dade Branch Chair of the Health Committee, and Major Roberto Irizarry, Homeland Security Bureau, Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. So we thank you for coming to today's episode.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
And we now want to ask Ms. Harris, would you please share a little bit about the Health Committee and then what special event we have coming up?
Good morning, and thank you for having me. The Health Committee is proud to present Men's Health Matters, Empowering Wellness in Mind, Body, Soul, Spirit, and Beyond. This is a free community health fair, and it's happening Saturday, June 27th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the St. James Baptist Church of Coconut Grove, 3500 Charles Avenue, right here in the heart of our community. Our moderator, Mr. Jeffrey King, he's a healthcare leader with deep roots in the community, and panelists cover every dimension of your health and well-being. Dr. Juan Cedeno with physical health, bringing expertise in urology and physical health. In addition, to our Caring for Miami dental unit, which will be on site from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., free dental care. Right there at the event, we have Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office Crisis Response Unit as one of our participants and vendors. So mark your calendars and see you there Saturday, June 27th.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Harris. And again, Major Irizarry, we definitely want to know more about the Crisis Response Unit. So if you could share that with the community and let us know exactly how they can reach out.
So the Crisis Response Unit was established as part of the evolving of law enforcement as being part of the community. So the Crisis Response Unit was established to create a co-responder response where not only law enforcement responds to calls with people that are having mental issues, also a mental health clinician responds to the calls. Usually we get the calls through either the 911 dispatcher or officers to respond to the calls, and they call us directly to respond.
The mobilization of the mobile crisis unit. What triggers mobilization of the crisis unit?
Whenever anyone is calls 911 or anybody that's going through a mental health crisis, they usually contact law enforcement, right? So we have a highly trained individuals in our unit, deputies, who are specifically trained to deal with mental health crisis. Deputies that respond to calls and they see that somebody's going through an mental health episode, they will contact our unit directly, and we'll respond and usually provide them with either by taking them to a mental health facility or providing them more services.
Okay. And then when we look at the staffing of the crisis unit, because I can assume there's more than one, knowing that we have a very large county, can you help everyone understand?
So we have the Crisis Response Unit, which has 1 lieutenant, 3 sergeants, and 25 deputies. We also have 2 mental health coordinators as part of it, and 2 clinicians. And we are in the process of hiring another one. So if anybody in your community wishes to apply, we are currently trying to recruit more clinicians. And obviously, it's not just the unit itself as a whole. The entire agency has been trained in crisis intervention responses. So yes, we have a specialized unit for it, which is Crisis Response Unit, but the agency as a whole, we've all attended the CIT training.
Okay. And now, are they units set up in every district, or
So
again, how
we have it's 25. We are a large community. 25 deputies along with their clinicians. They're north and south. Usually, right now, what we established is out of the South District and at the North Side District, where we had the deputies specifically assigned to them.
Got you. Okay. And you mentioned that there's opportunities, for employment for people to, do this type of work. What type of education and training would be necessary or would be necessary to be a part of that particular unit?
So a mental health background will definitely help. But we definitely, as far as deputies are concerned, we do have our own clinicians and our in-house coordinator that sets up training for deputies. But anyone with a mental health background that we qualified, Miami-Dade jobs, Miami-Dade.com/jobs, and they'll see it on there.
Okay. In the training and preparation for those who are a part of the unit, when they respond to calls, are there training sessions that include issues on addressing implicit bias or nonviolent restraint?
Yes, training includes addressing implicit bias and not making assumptions when interacting with individuals in crisis, including those that we have responded to in the past. This training is specific for the deputies to ensure that we don't overreact to the crisis, and usually involves not only training in the crisis interventional part of it, but also in defensive tactics and the escalation techniques. This has led to a significant reduction in use of forces when it comes to dealing with people that are going through mental health crisis.
Got you. And one of the last questions is, with the development of this particular unit, has it resulted in a reduction in arrests? Because I know normally when you're all involved, you would normally you wouldn't arrest them, you would send them to a facility to be treated or Baker acted. Yeah. So has it resulted in, and do you have that type of data to share with us? If not,
so I don't have specific numbers, but I do know from the last time I looked at the numbers about a week ago, we've responded to over 5,000 calls, and over those 5,000 calls, that's the implementation of the unit, I could say that we've had only 7 uses of forces.
Oh, wow.
Which is a great reduction when it comes to dealing with people in crisis. As far as the arrests are concerned, I don't have the specific numbers. I know over 100 weapons have been taken off the streets. We have served over 100 risk protection orders, which basically is a court order that will allow us to remove weapons from people that have shown to be in crisis in the past, which obviously, in turn, creates for a safer community.
Thank you. Now pivoting back over to Ms. Harris, we're talking about the NAACP. You're part of the health committee. Let the community know exactly what the health committee's function is, and then kind of give them an overview of what your vision is, and then how they can become involved, not only just by becoming a member of the NAACP, but joining your committee and how you would work well together with them.
Yes. The health committee is a platform to help the community. That's our goal, to provide those resources to the community, to be a source for them to leverage those resources. Again, become a member of the NAACP. Join that health committee if you enjoy helping others, if you enjoy all things health. I would say this is the place to be.
Amen.
That's our goal, and that's our purpose, one at a time, because health matters.
Exactly. And health is our wealth if we want to know the truth. And so with that understanding, knowing that, again, we want to do what we can, not just helping people physically, but as you mentioned in our health fair, financial. We're looking at the financial health of people as well, because that stress can cause people to be triggered.
Absolutely.
When they're triggered, now you have to respond.
Yes.
Our goal is to build that whole person, to help that whole person and see what we can do to empower that whole person, and then we also look at, with the health fair, bringing in that spiritual component, as well. So I think when we're looking at the physical, we're looking at the mental, we're looking at the emotional as well as the spiritual. holistically, we're doing the best that we can as an entity,
To be
as an
well
organization,
Yes.
to benefit the development of that individual. And now with that, as we are approaching or wrapping up, what we want to do is basically have you all give parting words. What is it that you would like to share with the community? What you can tell with them, even giving them bits of wisdom, in your closing remarks. So with that said, we started with Ms. Harris. We're going to conclude with her, and we're going to let Major Irizarry give us parting words.
Parting words is, we are at Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. We're also part of the community. We live in this community. We work in this community. Our families live in this community. So of course, we want to ensure that our community as a whole is safe. And being part of having this crisis response unit, being part of our agency is a great tool. It's a great resource. Mm-hmm. We're bringing mental health professionals into law enforcement to continue to evolve our response, where people that are going in crisis will not only see us as guys with badges coming to a call. No, mm-hmm. We are mental health professionals, are not to the extent of a doctor or so, but we are trained to ensure that we have the best outcome to any call that we go to.
Gotcha.
So as we are entering this mental health aspect of our daily work, mm-hmm. We want to ensure that the community knows that we're there to support them. They'll only call us when you get to the crisis. We also want to be part of the solution and, part of the basis as we continue to develop in the community. Mm-hmm. We don't want to just be the guys that get called when something's going bad. We'd like to be part of the community when things are going good. So let us work together. Let's not get to that moment where the community is going into crisis for us to have to respond to it. Let's work together from before. That way, when we have to respond to those moments of crisis, we all prepare to deal with the positive and consequences of those calls, whether it be having to commit somebody to a mental health institution, mm-hmm. and ultimately trying to avoid arrest, mm-hmm. and trying to avoid criminal charges when necessary.
Amen. Amen. And how can the community get in touch with?
So to communicate with us is 305 Sheriff. It's a non-emergency number, obviously 911, mm-hmm. and contact us and we'll respond.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
And if you have any more questions, you just go Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office website, which is www.mdso.com.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Ms. Harris, if you can share some parting remarks as well as some words of wisdom to the family.
Well, piggybacking off of you, I am going to say each one teaches one. Okay. Mental health matters. And with this health fair, we will address all things health, empowering wellness in mind, body, spirit, and beyond. So I am going to say we are this community, and it starts with us. And again, each one teaches one, and it starts with us.
Amen. And thank you both for your time and for what you've shared today. And with that, thank you for joining us in the Empowerment Zone.
Thank you for joining us in the Empowerment Zone, brought to you by South Dade NAACP, where information becomes action, voices become movements, and community becomes change. We hope today's conversation inspired you to stay informed, stay engaged, and stay empowered. Remember, our voices are strongest when they are heard at the ballot box. Voting and voter registration are powerful tools that help shape our schools, neighborhoods, leadership, and future. Encourage someone to register, make a plan to vote, and continue doing your part to strengthen our community. And don't forget to email your feedback, thoughts, and/or suggestions for topics that you want to hear about to podcast@southdade.naacp.org. Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and keep leading, because together we are building a stronger South Miami-Dade, one conversation at a time.